Imagine you're stuck in rush hour traffic, but the cars blocking the intersection ahead of you, they don't have drivers.
Oh, wow. Just entirely empty.
Completely empty. Just
Yeah.
perfectly frozen 2-ton robots sitting there at a dead stop, basically just waiting for a Wi-Fi signal to tell them what to do next.
Welcome to episode 466 of AI Brief. We have a really packed roadmap for you today on this deep dive. We're going to be exploring the rapidly shrinking gap between the digital and the physical worlds.
Right, which is just moving so fast right now.
It really is. So we're starting off with a massive leap forward in software development, the entirely new unified workspace from Cursor 3. And then we're going to look at some honestly staggering updates in robotics.
The physical stuff, which is always wild.
Exactly. We're tracking Waymo's explosive scaling across the country, that massive system-wide traffic gridlock from Baidu over in Wuhan that I just hinted at, and a jaw-dropping valuation spike for a company called Physical Intelligence.
I cannot wait to get into that one. Same. And finally, we'll round out the deep dive with a quick rundown of the top trending AI tools you can use to, immediately boost your productivity today.
The overarching thread connecting literally all of this today is autonomy. Like, we are watching systems transition from the simple assistants that need you to hold their hand every single step of the way to independent agents capable of navigating incredibly complex environments.
Whether that environment is a sprawling corporate code base or a highly unpredictable city intersection, right?
Exactly. And that brings us perfectly to the bleeding edge of software development tools. So Cursor 3 just dropped, and it is entirely rethinking how you interact with code.
And we should clarify, this is not just a minor update, right? Like, it's not just a new coat of paint or a slightly smarter autocomplete.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, Cursor 3 is a brand new unified workspace that is explicitly designed for building software alongside AI agents. To really grasp the impact here, we kind of have to look at the historical limitations of AI coding assistants.
Because up until now, they've largely functioned as like incredibly smart text predictors, but they're confined to a single file.
Yes, exactly. Or, at best, they have a very narrow context window. You ask it to write a function, it writes a function. But Cursor 3 introduces this multi-repo layout, and this is huge.
Multi-repo, so it's looking at everything at once.
Pretty much. It allows both the human developer and the AI agents to work cleanly across completely different interconnected repositories at the exact same time.
Okay, think of this like an air traffic control tower for developers. Instead of you just typing code and managing one single runway, you're now directing a mix of local and cloud-based agents.
Oh, I love that analogy.
Right. And they're moving seamlessly across different digital airspaces, those different repositories. But the beauty of the system is that you never actually lose the ability to grab the manual controls.
Which is crucial for engineers who want that fine-tuned control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You always have the option to switch back to the standard Cursor IDE at any given moment if you just need to manually intervene or tweak a specific line yourself.
And that seamless handoff between local and cloud agents is really the crucial technical achievement making this all possible. Because, some tasks require massive compute power that you absolutely want to offload to a giant cloud model.
But other things need to happen instantly.
Right. Other tasks require speed or privacy or just the low latency advantages of running an agent locally right on your own machine. Cursor 3 manages that transition fluidly. It brings a completely new level of clarity to the work these agents actually produce.
So it's basically revolutionizing how software gets built by giving us this higher level of abstraction.
You're essentially moving from writing every single line of code yourself to acting as a manager for a team of just tireless digital interns who write the code for you.
And it also includes an integrated browser and full plugin support through the Cursor Marketplace, which means the agents can browse documentation or utilize third-party tools without constantly breaking your workflow or, forcing you to tab out.
That alone saves so much context switching.
It really does. And if you want to experience this new level of collaboration right now, the rollout is actually already live. You can upgrade and try it out by simply typing Command-Shift-BP on your keyboard and navigating over to the agent's window.
I mean, the business implications of this architecture are just vast. When you allow for this higher abstraction and that seamless multi-repo agent activity, you drastically improve collaboration across entire engineering teams.
Because the agents hold the architecture in their memory, right?
Yes, they hold the architecture of multiple repositories simultaneously, so that frees up the human engineers to stop worrying about, dumb syntax errors and focus purely on high-level system design and logic.
So we are seeing these software agents navigate complex digital spaces with unprecedented autonomy. But um, the digital world is contained, right? It's predictable. Code either compiles or it doesn't.
The rules are absolute.
Exactly. So what happens when we take that exact same concept, autonomous agents navigating complex spaces, and we apply it to the physical world where things are, really messy?
Well, let's actually take a breath here and slow down a bit to examine the physical landscape of robotics and autonomous systems.
Because the pace of change in the physical world definitely requires a much more measured analysis.
It really does. So Waymo has just crossed a massive operational milestone, and it's demonstrating explosive growth that is fundamentally altering the transportation landscape.
In less than 2 years, Waymo has actually grown its weekly paid trips by a factor of 10.
A factor of 10 in that short of a time frame is wild for physical hardware.
It is. They went from 50,000 rides a week in 2024 to logging over 500,000 paid rides a week today. And they've rapidly expanded by adding 7 entirely new Sun-Belt markets in just the past year alone, stretching all the way from Austin to Orlando.
But I think the most fascinating data point hidden within that growth is their hardware efficiency. They achieved this 10 times increase in ride volume while keeping their actual physical fleet size steady at around 3,000 vehicles.
Wait, only 3,000 vehicles for 500,000 rides a week. That utilization rate is astonishing. Running the math on that, it means these vehicles are operating with almost zero downtime.
They practically never stop.
They must be constantly hot swapping or navigating to charging stations in perfectly timed intervals.
It really highlights an absolute mastery of routing algorithms, predictive demand positioning, and battery management. I mean, they are extracting the maximum possible utility from every single chassis on the road.
And they aren't even pausing to celebrate this milestone, are they?
No, not at all. Their sixth-generation self-driving system is already live in early development. When you observe this kind of trajectory, it becomes incredibly clear that their rivals have an immense amount of ground to cover just to reach baseline parity.
But the reality of deploying physical agents into the real world is that the real world is inherently chaotic. Scaling physical infrastructure is vastly different than just spinning up more cloud servers.
Right. The stakes are physical.
Exactly.
Mm.
While Waymo is demonstrating incredibly smooth scaling across the United States, we are seeing the severe mechanical realities of system failures elsewhere.
We really must look at what recently occurred in Wuhan. Baidu operates its Apollo Go Robotaxi fleet there, and they experienced a massive, unprecedented system-wide failure.
Over 100 of these Apollo Go robotaxis simultaneously froze in the middle of busy roads. It created immediate, severe traffic gridlock across the entire city.
And people were inside these cars.
Yeah, passengers were stuck inside these immobilized vehicles for up to 2 hours before local police physically assisted them in exiting the cars.
This event provides such a stark look at the architecture of centralized physical systems. You know, in a digital environment, a system failure usually just results in a 404 error page or a delayed background process. You refresh the page and move on.
But in the physical world, a system failure results in 2-ton machines becoming static obstacles in a really dynamic, high-velocity environment.
Precisely. When those vehicles lost their connection to the centralized dispatch or encountered a critical system-wide fault, their default programming dictated a dead stop. From a pure engineering perspective, a halt is the safest baseline failsafe.
But executing that failsafe simultaneously across 100 nodes in active city grid creates a cascading logistical disruption.
It illustrates the immense, unforgiving complexity of managing distributed physical networks under stress.
And that Wuhan gridlock proves just how hard physical space really is. Navigating a car through a city requires macro-level environmental awareness, spotting pedestrians, reading stoplights, predicting other drivers.
But there is an entirely different discipline in robotics focused on the micro level. The fine motor skills required to manipulate the physical world on a really granular scale.
And the market is currently placing astronomical value on solving that specific puzzle. Which brings us to physical intelligence.
This is a 2-year-old startup that's building AI models designed to teach robots how to execute precise physical commands.
We're talking about tasks like folding clothes, making a cup of coffee, or assembling cardboard boxes.
And they are currently in talks to raise $1 billion, which would put their valuation at an astonishing $11 billion.
Which is double their $5.6 billion valuation from literally just 4 months ago. But wait, hold on. An $11 billion valuation for a 2-year-old company to fold clothes and make coffee.
It sounds absurd when you put it like that.
Right. I mean, are we putting an $11 billion price tag on household chores? Or is the market betting that if a robot can handle the delicate physics of a shirt, it can basically build absolutely anything?
Well, you're hitting on the core principle of Moravec's paradox here. In artificial intelligence, high-level reasoning requires very little computation, but low-level sensor and motor skills require enormous computational resources.
So it's easy to be smart, but hard to move.
Exactly. It's relatively easy to train an AI to beat a grandmaster at chess or write complex Python code. The math there is clean. But it is incredibly difficult to train a robot to perceive the state of a crumpled, deformable object like a t-shirt, understand its spatial orientation, and apply the exact amount of torque and tension required to fold it without tearing the fabric or just dropping it.
It's wild to think we spent billions teaching AI to write flawless code, but a toddler can outsmart a billion-dollar robot when it comes to folding laundry.
And that's because the state of the shirt changes continuously in real time as the robot interacts with it. A chessboard is static until a piece moves. A shirt shifts and folds every single millimeter you lift it.
The mathematics required to model that continuous physical deformation is just staggering.
It really is. And the market understands that folding laundry is just the benchmark test. If physical intelligence can build a foundational model that masters state estimation and fine motor control for soft objects, they have effectively built a universal brain for physical labor.
So that underlying model could be licensed to operate surgical robots, fine manufacturing arms, or logistics drones.
Exactly. That potential scalability is why they are commanding an $11 billion valuation, placing them in the exact same league as massive rivals like Skilled AI, valued at $14 billion, and Figure AI, valued at $39 billion.
Okay, so the leap from code generation to physical manipulation is happening at a blistering pace. But let's shift gears, bring things back to the immediate present, and focus on tools that you can leverage on your laptop right now.
Let's do it.
We're going to run through a quick overview of 6 trending AI productivity tools that are shifting the landscape today and look at exactly how they do it.
The focus here is really on immediate application. These are tools designed to reduce friction in your daily workflow by predicting what you need before you even have to ask for it.
First up is Google Vids 2.0. This tool allows you to create, edit, and share videos at absolutely no cost using their newly integrated AI features.
I can see corporate communication being a huge use case for this.
Oh, 100%. Imagine you have a complex project update for a Monday morning meeting. Instead of spending 3 hours building a static slide deck, you can just feed your outline into Google Vids 2.0. It analyzes the text, pulls relevant stock footage or company assets, and instantly generates a slick, professional presentation video, complete with perfect pacing and visual transitions.
And while you're generating that video, your development team could be utilizing Mercury Edit too. This introduces ultra-fast next edit prediction for coding.
Which is distinctly different from standard autocomplete, right?
Very different. Autocomplete just guesses the end of your current word or line. Mercury Edit 2 analyzes the broader architecture of your entire project and anticipates the logical progression of your work.
So it's basically reading your mind.
Essentially, the ideal use case is having your code editor anticipate your next 3 steps, whether that is a structural change, a massive refactoring, or a variable renaming across multiple files, literally before your fingers even hit the keys. It fundamentally accelerates the speed of development by removing the mechanical typing from the thought process.
Okay, then you have OpenRouter Model Fusion. This tool allows you to run multiple different AI models side by side and mathematically fuse their outputs to generate the best possible answer.
Oh, wow. So like forcing top-tier AIs to debate an issue.
Exactly. If you're dealing with a highly complex strategic problem, you can use this to force them to effectively debate. It works by combining the probability distributions of the tokens from the different models.
That is fascinating.
You get the analytical rigor of one model combined with the creative problem-solving of another, delivering the ultimate consensus directly to you. It's literally like having a board of directors made up of supercomputers arguing on your behalf.
Next on the list is OpenClaude in Chrome. This is a reverse-engineered, jailbroken version of the Claude AI model designed specifically for the Chrome browser.
A jailbroken version, so it removes all the standard UI bottlenecks.
Yes. By removing the standard interface restrictions, it allows for deep, unrestricted AI integration directly into your browser workflow. The use case here is really for power users who need an AI assistant that can read, analyze, and manipulate web-based data environments natively. It lives in your browser, interacting with the web exactly the way you do.
We also have API Image. This
Mhm.
is a specialized image generation tool focused strictly on creating high-quality, visually stunning outputs.
So when you're putting together a high-stakes pitch and you need custom visuals,
Exactly. When you need high-impact visuals to elevate the aesthetic of your slide deck or website, API Image delivers that tier of quality. It takes the heavy lifting out of the process, giving you incredible results without requiring you to learn, a dozen paragraphs of complex prompt engineering.
finally, there is Fluently. This tool generates AI subtitles and full translations for YouTube videos in over 20 different languages.
The utility here has to be massive for content creators.
It really is. You can take a single video recorded in English, run it through Fluently, and instantly localize your content for a global audience. And the magic is that it doesn't just translate the words literally, it provides accurate colloquial translations and perfectly times the subtitles to match the natural cadence of the speaker. It instantly expands the reach of any piece of media without requiring a whole team of human translators.
We have covered a massive amount of ground today, from the digital architecture of our new coding tools to the physical infrastructure of our cities and the fine motor skills of our robots. It leaves us with a pretty compelling final thought to consider.
It definitely ties it all together.
We are actively watching artificial intelligence evolve from a digital utility that helps us write better code in a workspace like Cursor 3, to a physical intelligence that can drive our cars at scale like Waymo, to an entity learning the delicate physics required to fold our laundry.
The trajectory is so clear. The intelligence we are cultivating in the cloud is steadily acquiring a physical body. You really have to ask yourself how quickly the remaining gap between your digital workspace and your physical world will close entirely, and what new infrastructures we'll need to build to manage that reality.
It is a reality that's arriving faster than most of us can process. We highly encourage you to follow the show and share this deep dive with anyone trying to make sense of this rapidly shifting landscape.
See you in the next episode.